A second book of Samuel, chapter 8. After Saul died, David came home for his victory over the Amalekites, and spent 12 days in Ziklag. And each day a chiel came for Saul's camp, with his clothes all ripped, and his head yarded. When he came to David, he fell all his length, and on a groan in respect. David said to him, Far have you come, Fay? And he said, I've escaped out of the Israelite camp. Says David to him, Fit happened, tell me. And he told him at the folk had teen flicked, they affected, and many were wounded and dead, including Saul and his son Jonathan. Says David to Achiel, Fit no why div you ken, at Saul and his son Jonathan are dead. And a young Berkey said, I happened to be going along Mount Gilboa, and I saw Saul leaning on his spear, and the chariots and cavalry were closing in on him. He looked behind him, and saw me, and cried my oar. I said, Here I am. And he said to me, Wha would he be? And I told him I'm an Amalekite. He says to me, Come and stand over me, and do awa wi me. I'm dean for, but yet there's life in me. Say I steed o'er him and killed him, 'cause I could see that he was doon and wouldna come through. I took a croon for his head, and a bangle for his arm, and have brought them here to you, sir. Syne David took a hold o' his clothes, and ripped them, and sae did all men that were wi' him. They mourned and grat and didna eat naething till nichtfall, in respect for Saul and his son, Jonathan, for a maester's folk, and for a hoose o' Israel, 'cause they had all fallen by a sword. And David said to Berkey, for had fastened the news, Far are ye fae? And he answered, I'm a foreigner, an Amalekite. David spiert at him, Was ye nae feared to rocks out your hand, and die awa wi a maester's anointed? David cried o'er een o' his men, and said, Haud in a boot, and kill him. And he struck him down dead. And David said to him, Let your bleed be on your ain head, 'cause by words o' your ain moo, ye've condemned yourself by eening up to killing the maester's anointed. David sang a lament for Saul and his son Jonathan, and gart it be learnt by all folk of Judah. He gart them read it down, and it can be found in the book of Yasher. Israel's Flooers O E Forest are all we the wall I' the Highlands, where brave lads are nae mair. Dinna say a word about it in Gath, dinna lat it be kent I' the streets o' Ascalon, for fear of Philistine women rejoice, for fear of doctors o' the uncircumcised craw. Myth a rain nae ding doon on the Highlands o' Gilboa, nae jow on the hills, 'cause there at Targes our best men lie roostin', on Saul's targe, nae mair polished wi' ile. Jonathan's bow never held back fae a bleed o' them fa fell, fae a breast o' the enemy. Saul's sword was never put in awa team. Saul and Jonathan, weel lood, and Cuthie fun alive, ne'er parted in death, faster nor eagles, stouter nor lions. Greet for Saul, ye doctors o' Israel. Saul, fa clad ye in scarlet and brawlies, fa dinket your clays wi' baubles o' gold. Fu a Flooers o' a Forest are all we awa, We the wall is affectin'. Jonathan lies deed i' the Heelands. I'm sair come out for ye, Jonathan, my brither. Ye've been guid to ma. Your love for ma was wonderful, mair nor love o' women. Flowers o' a forest are all we the wa, their weapons connacht.